Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until 5 o'clock, I believe. 5 o'clock. 513-717-5464, 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. So good afternoon, Robert, Miss Pittsburgh. Hold on. Oh, they jumping on me. Miss Pittsburgh, Maria, Carolyn, Nikki, Sean, David, Black Russian, Antonio, little Nick, Shirley, my Osha. I got some intro music. I got to get the licensing and everything together. Terry, Anthony, McConnell, Deborah, Sabrina, Diane, Olympia. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Hold on, let me see. So the YouTube page is up. The YouTube afternoon experiment page is up. Why is the Facebook page not showing up? Hold on a second. Hold on. Come on. All right, hold on. See, now it's trying to act up on me. Got to get the Facebook page going. I don't know why this stuff don't want to do what I want it to do. And I did all of this before I came on. Sometimes stuff just don't want to act right. Yes. I'm sorry, I don't think y'all can see what's going on. I hope y'all can't see what's going on. Yes. Right there. Okay. Continue. Yes. It's doing a little spinning wheel thing. All right. And go live. Sending data. Come on, and you need to turn green and say strip. There we go. All right, the afternoon experiment page on Facebook is up and streaming. The afternoon experiment page on Twitter is up and streaming. The afternoon experiment page on YouTube is up and streaming. All right. Of course, we got Twitch. We got the regular Facebook page. We got the regular YouTube page. You know, my personal pages. So, all right. Now, I need to see just somebody, doesn't matter who, somebody go to Black Russian says switched over and subscribed. All right. And somebody go to the afternoon experiment page on Facebook. I need to just see it and make sure that it's working. If y'all don't mind, somebody go to the afternoon experiment on Facebook. Click on it and let me know if you see it. If I'm live on the afternoon experiments page. I see you there, Black Russian. Sean says it's working. All right. So there we go. Hey, Emmanuel, you stupid MF. Hang up, Lincoln. I'm not sure what that means. What did I do to be stupid? So, all right. So, all of the pages are up and all of the pages are working. Great. So, if I do say something that gets me sent to Facebook jail, I'll still be here. I will still be here. So, there you go. There's always a way. You know what I'm saying? You got to, the man don't run everything. Well, he do, but sometimes you got to figure out how to work with him. All right, let's Joe says, damn man, shout out HV. Hawaiian Village? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean. Uh-oh, sounds like you about to say or do something crazy. No. Like, y'all know how I be just saying normal stuff on Facebook, and they'll put me in jail, and then I'm in jail. Because technically, I'm still on probation for Facebook. Technically, I am still on probation from the last time that I was in jail. So they like, oh, we bumping all your posts to the bottom. On everything you say, go to the bottom. That's why today when I was posting on the Lincoln Ware show, I was like, are my messages coming through? Because I couldn't, you know how you post something and then you see it? I didn't see any of the times that I asked Lincoln Ware the legitimate question. Do you support a Democrat for Hamilton County prosecutor? Would you like to see a Democrat become the Hamilton County prosecutor? Because I don't think he wants a Democrat to become the Hamilton County prosecutor. So, I wanted to give him an opportunity to say, well, yeah, I do. But he doesn't. I don't think he does. But my question wasn't coming up, and I thought it was because I was still on probation. So that's why. But this way, I'll be able to go on even when I'm in jail, because it'll just be on probably the afternoon experiment page. He never answered that question. No, he didn't. And y'all know he saw it as many times as I posted it. He actually commented on almost everything else that I had to say, even when I wasn't talking to him. He sees it and he comments on it, which I'm cool with that. I don't have a problem with it. Even when he taking his little shots and cracking himself up. But he didn't answer that question. And it wasn't an accident that he didn't answer it. He never answered the question. Tina says, I didn't know Facebook had probation. Yes. Hold on, let me see. I'm going to go to Facebook on my phone. I'm going to try to see if I can show you the parameters of my probation. Let me go. Account restricted. It says only you can see this. My account is still restricted. Hold on. Okay, go to it. See, I don't know if you can see this. And I can't really focus it because if I move closer, it don't focus. But it says your post will be moved lower in the feed for 13 days. So that's the only amount of restriction that I have left. For a while, I couldn't post in groups and stuff like that. But now my post will be moved lower in the feed. And why? Because I have repeatedly violated their community standards. That's what they saying, that I've repeatedly, but I ain't no repeat violator like that. This is definitely not an Android phone. This is definitely not an Android phone. So yeah. They do. They have probation, and I am on it. I am on probation. But that's not what I wanted to talk about today. Thank everybody for joining me on this snowy, what is today? Wednesday? Look, I want to become a meteorologist. Because if you're a meteorologist, you can just say stuff. Just say stuff. It don't even have to happen. It don't have to be true. People listen to you like you know what you're talking about, and they respond like you know what you're talking about. Cincinnati public schools were closed today, and a lot of other things, because the meteorologist told us it's going to snow. It's going to snow like crazy. Y'all going to have so much snow, y'all ain't going to know what to do. That's what they told us. I think that was the official forecast. So much snow that you ain't going to know what to do. And I got, I put my tarps out, tarped up the cars, tarped up the driveway. I was ready. I was ready. Got up this morning, got a call from, my other gig, and he was like, look, it's a snow day. Don't even worry about coming in. I was like, all right, cool. Got up this morning, looked out the window. I was like, ain't no snow. It ain't no snow. What happened? Now, when they told me I was going to have 0 to a half inch of snow, I had 6 inches. When they told me I was going to have at least 6 inches, maybe more, I got none. I think the meteorologists are trolling us. I think they're trolling us. I think they're trying to be funny. They trying to be funny. Like, watch. Hey, they had little huddles. Come on, bring it in. All right, let's tell them 6 inches of snow and see what they do, all right? 6 inches of snow on 3. Break. You know what I'm saying? And then we get nothing. And look, I like the snow because I knew that Cincinnati Public was going to be. See, this is how they messed up my day. This is how they messed up my day. Not money. I'm the job. And the guy that I work for, he probably going to pay me for the day. And he's like the most generous dude ever. And I say that and then he probably won't, but it don't matter. But I knew CPS was out. That little baby is in a CPS school. So I was like, CPS is out and I don't have to go to work. You know what? This sounds like a sledding day. I've never taken her sledding. I know where a nice hill is, right up it's coming out of Fairfield. It's a park, and it's a huge hill. I was like, that is the plan for today. I'll dig myself out. I'll go get the little baby, bundle her up. If I had to go buy her a snowsuit, because she kind of, you know what I'm saying? She'd be out there, I'm cold. So I was like, I might even have to go buy her a snowsuit. I was prepared. If I had to go buy her a snowsuit, I'm going to go buy her a snowsuit. We are going sledding today. I woke up excited like a kid. I get to go sledding. Then we go home, get some hot chocolate, put some marshmallows in it. Then I end up making some Rice Krispie treats with marshmallows. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, I had a whole morning planned. Woke up to nothing. They ruined my day. I was so looking forward to it. Make her sled down backwards so she can't see where she's going. She still don't like this go down the slide backwards. So I have her sled down a whole hill backwards. Oh, I was so excited. No snow. Joe, I see you with the retro Flash shirt. I'm about to do a run of Black Flash. Did you know there was a Black Flash? Not Kid Flash was, in the thing they made him black, but Black Flash. Yeah, about to do a run of Black Flash. So, but anyway, yeah, they messed up my day. I was totally prepared. I was totally prepared to take her out, and it didn't happen. Luckily, I didn't tell her about it because she get excited about stuff. Like she keep asking, when are we going flying, grandfather? When are we going flying, grandfather? Because I told her, I'm going to take her to iFly. So now she want to know when we going flying. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't tell her about it. There was a few things that I wanted to discuss. Of course, we all know, talked a little yesterday about, hold on, take that off of there. Anybody tuning in, my name is Emanuel Livingston. I am the host and the king of talk. We talked a little bit yesterday about Mike Pence, them finding classified documents in Mike Pence's house. What, Janet? You better not let the little baby sled down the hill backwards. Oh, she definitely slid backwards. She is definitely going backwards. She'll be terrified the whole time. That's the fun in it. But we talked yesterday about Mike Pence having the classified documents where they've come out now. Because, people had questions. Oh, I got to do this again. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I remember how to do this. Of course I remember. I just got to get everything in the right place. And get to the right tabs. And then get to the right place on the right tab. All right. So let's go here and here. That should be correct. Let me see. Yes. Barack Obama and George W. Bush, they said, we don't have any classified documents. Just to be clear, we want to let everybody know we don't have any classified documents. Of course, this is from USA Today. You can see it up there on the screen. Aides for former presidents Barack Obama and George W. Bush say they are not searching their office for classified documents because those items were turned over when they left office. George W. Bush's people said that search was conducted before he left the White House, when all of his presidential records, classified and unclassified, were turned over to the National Archives. Bush's office said that. In a similar statement from Obama's office, they said, consistent with the Presidential Records Act, all of President Obama's classified records were submitted to the National Archives upon leaving office. NARA continues to resume physical and legal custody of President Obama's materials to date. So they say, we ain't got no documents. Don't come over here trying to search nothing. We did what we were supposed to do. We good. Yeah, that document stuff is all them and Joe Biden, but it's not us. I think they should still search. But Barack Obama, look, I'm telling you, go through your documents. If you brought any documents to your house or anything like that, go through paper by paper and make sure ain't no classified document. Because look, it all depends on how many papers you have. Some of this can be innocent mistakes. If you give me a box of papers and I just, I'm picking up folders and I'm looking at them and I'm kind of, leafing through them, I could miss something. I'm just kind of going through, flipping through it. Now, look at each. They searched Joe Biden's house for 13 hours. That means they looked at every single piece of paper. That's what that says to me. They looked at every single piece of paper. And if you got folders and folders and folders of paper and you're just kind of leafing through, you might miss a classified document or 12 through boxes and boxes of papers. Hire somebody, I guess with government clearance, to go through your papers one by one and just make sure there is no classified markings on anything, just to be safe. That would be my suggestion. I know if I had ever spent some time in office and had ever handled a single classified document, I don't care who I am, president, over some committee, whatever, I would be going through my stuff, having somebody, because I ain't going to do it. I'm not going to go through it. But somebody going to go through my stuff and make sure. Did the first lady make them sandwiches 13 hours? That's what they said. They said they searched for 13 hours. Yeah, I'm not second guessing myself, because yesterday y'all made me second guess myself. And I knew I was right, but it was like 4 or 5 of y'all who made me second guess myself. I'm not doing it this time. I double checked. It was 13 hours that they say they searched his house. Obama and Bush. Just double check. Maybe the archives, maybe they missed something. And I could see that being the case. Well, I was about to say I could see that being the case for Mike Pence or for Joe Biden. We clearing out these offices. We supposed to go through and have people come through and check, and people miss 12 pieces of paper. So it's not necessarily, like Trump. It's not necessarily like Trump. See, when reading Michelle's first book, she mentioned that her and Barack went over every rule meticulously because she understood how it would look if black folks were caught messing up. I can't say that word you said because I don't cuss. So it could happen. Terry want to know, was that 13 hours straight, no breaks? I imagine they had teams. I imagine it wasn't just like 2 dudes for 13 hours. Like, now. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I've been here 13 hours. I'm just getting sleepy. I imagine it was teams. You don't cuss? No, I don't cuss. I don't cuss. I don't necessarily believe in that. Let me see. Number 2, the second thing that I wanted to talk about was I'm having such a hard time remembering these people's names. Oh, the young man in Memphis who was killed. What was the name of the young man in Memphis who was killed? Hold on a second. Let me go back to my regular screen. What was the young man in Memphis? What was his name? I got to look it up. Tyree Nichols. Yesterday, y'all had me convinced. Because I was like, I know they let the family see the video, but they haven't released the video. And a few of y'all, I don't remember exactly who it was. But a few of y'all was like, no, I saw the body cam video on the news this morning. And no, they released it. Why don't you hire Dave Stinger and he can have it queued up for you? Y'all was hating and led me astray. And then I'm sitting here searching for it. Well, they said they're not ready to release it. Even though some of y'all say, well, they already released it. I watched it. You watched it on the news yesterday, for real. Who was that? Anybody want to be honest and be the one to say, I'm the one who said I saw it on the news yesterday? Anybody want to be honest and admit you were the one who said you saw it on the news yesterday? Somebody said that. I saw it on the news yesterday. Somebody want to admit it. And I'm sitting here looking for it. I'm just, in the video. And I'm like, I can't find it. I can't find it. I can't find it. I knew they didn't release it. But they say they're not ready to release it yet. Tina say you said it. Shame on you, Tina. Yeah, they're not ready to release it yet. They will, I guess, at some point. They say they'll release it. At some point, they say they'll release it. And somebody said, I don't want to see it. Somebody don't want to see it. And I get that. I get it, D, if you don't want to see it. Because apparently it's bad. I was watching a guy from the Justice Department. He was from the Justice Department. They're investigating. And he said he believes it's really bad. He has no control over when to release the video. He says the local authorities, they control when the video will be released and all of that kind of stuff. The local authorities have said it's not ready, which I don't know what that means. What does that mean? It's not ready. See, again, when they do stuff like this, it's stuff like this where I'm like, look, when they know they right, they like, let's get that video out. Let's get that video out. Come on, let's reserve judgment. Let's reserve judgment now. That's the way to now. When they know they right, get the video out. See what we told y'all. See, right there. That's a gun. Highlight it. Bring it out. See, that's a gun. It's a gun. He had a gun. Okay, y'all was right that time. Okay, y'all was right. What about now? Well, it ain't ready yet. It ain't ready. Wait a minute, it ain't ready. You can't see it? Well, clearly, it's visible. The family saw it. What do you mean it ain't ready? I mean, they want to edit it. It's exactly what it means. I mean, well, it mean that. And I mean, it don't look good for us. Like, this just don't look good for us. Well, but no matter what happened, this is what the guy from the attorney from Memphis, the federal guy who's investigating, he said, look, we want everybody to have their say. And if they believe something was not just, we want them to be able to express that peacefully. We want them to be able to express that peacefully. Okay. Peacefully. That's what they want. You know what we want? We want police to be able to arrest us when we're wrong peacefully. We want, when people are no longer a threat to law enforcement, we want them to be apprehended peacefully. But we don't always get that. And I'm going to just tell y'all about me. This is just me. Which I hope this never happens. I hope it never comes to this. But this is just me. If somehow I am violently beaten or stunned or something like that to death by law enforcement when I'm unarmed and not resisting, I don't want y'all to be peaceful about it. Know this. If you hear my family, and there's a few members of my family right now, there's a few members of my family watching right now, don't be out there talking about, Emanuel wouldn't want this violence in the streets. He would want us to be peaceful. That's a lie. That's a lie. I would want y'all to be rowdy. I want y'all to bring the noise. Yes, I see your comments, Tina. I want y'all to bring the noise. I want y'all to be as violent toward them as they were toward me. Just peacefully gather, take a knee. No, that's not what I would want if it was me. I hope it's never me. But that's not what I would want. That don't typically help. I know this is I'm gonna end up banned off of these daggone platforms that I'm just now setting up. But this stuff don't peacefully protesting. This ain't the 60s and stuff. Again, I think they have learned the lessons of the 60s. They learned the lessons of the 60s. You know, when they would march down the street and they would sick dogs on them and turn fire hoses on them. And then it looked like, wow, they're peaceful and they're violent. Oh my God, honey, they're turning dogs on those peaceful Negroes. They're beating those peaceful Negroes. They learned, ooh, that looked bad. Okay, let them just march down the street peacefully and then carry their asses home. That's what they learned. So that's why when you know, now look, to some degree they don't, because the other lesson that they learned was, but if they're violent, it makes them look bad. So what they do is they put people in the crowds. Don't try to look at me like they don't plant people in crowds to start violence and break windows and all that kind of stuff to make peaceful protests look violent. Don't even shake your head like that don't happen. Yes, that happens. They plant people in the crowd to break windows and all of that kind of stuff to look violent so that then they can respond with violence. So they learn we can't look like the aggressor, but we can be violent if they're violent. My point is, they gonna be violent anyway. They gonna be violent anyway. They gonna figure out reasons and ways to arrest you. Again, as much as I like Cecil Thomas, and even though he claimed he didn't say this, but I know he did because I was watching the news when he said it, when they were up there in Clifton, and when George Floyd had got killed, and they were marching in Clifton. And Cecil Thomas was like, they gotta find a reason to arrest them. They got to arrest these people. They got to find a reason to arrest them. His inner police came out. He said that on the news. So they going to find a reason to arrest you either way. But yeah, now the guy, his people should protest peacefully. What does that solve? To a large degree, a peaceful protest is just people walking down the street. That's it. It's, just like a parade. It's just people walking down the street. And that don't really change stuff. People walking down the street doesn't necessarily change anything. So, if it happens to me, and anybody telling you Emanuel would want y'all to be peaceful, Emanuel wouldn't want this in his name. They didn't know me. They didn't know me. Because I would want whatever it took to change the situation to happen. And I'm sorry, but I just don't see walking down the street peacefully as a way to do it. Jenna says you better have some strategy other than merely violence. Well, I'll be dead. I won't have a strategy. I'll be the dead guy. Y'all come up with some strategy that includes violence. Yeah, y'all come up with some strategy. My point is, all of these people talking about, oh, he wouldn't want violence. Oh, he wouldn't want violence. And I don't care how many police, mayors, city council members, outside people, lawyers, Benjamin Crump, Al Sharpton. I don't care how many of them come up to y'all. I'm talking to my family now. If this happens, I don't care how many of them come up to y'all talking about, we need to appeal for peace. We need to appeal for peace. Y'all tell them he would not want us to appeal for peace. He would want us to appeal for change, and change by any means necessary. Oh, wait a minute. My man said he calling in. Hold on. I have to pull up the call screen. All right. So if you call in, I will see it. If you call in, I will see it. So I'm just saying that. But they haven't released the body cam. They haven't released the body cam. Janice says, well, people better have some strategy and be ready to be killed on contact. You got to be ready for that anyway. Even when you peacefully protesting, when you just walking down the street, you got to be ready for that. You got to be ready for that. Lewis C.K. Johnson says, Mr. Livingston, I'm calling in. To think they would plant people to destroy their own neighborhoods is preposterous. Yeah, you got to call in because I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm not sure what you're talking about. And Lewis says, Martin was proven right at the end. Again, I don't know what you're talking about. So then that's that. Let me see. There was something else. Remember I told y'all about the chef who was anti-dark-skinned black woman, but he was an assistant district attorney. Well, what was it, in Houston? Assistant district attorney in Houston. Well, Chef Wayman Wesley. It's Wayman, not Raymond. Wayman West. I can't say it because it feel like I'm saying Raymond wrong. But the man's name, hold on, let me see if I can put this over here. So y'all can see it. And then we go back here. And then we go here. TikTok's famous Chef Way resigns from DA's office over racist tweets about black women. Wayman Wesley. It just sounds like I'm saying it wrong. Wayman Wesley, the Houston-based chef and prosecutor, born Wayman Wesley II, posted a lengthy statement to his Instagram account on Tuesday. In it, he announced his resignation. He shared details of his rehabilitation and expressed regret to black women. He acknowledged that it's been a painful time for many people, but said he wanted to express his regret and provide context since the offensive remarks first went viral. He wanted to give context. What context? Wayman Wesley, he says, 7 years ago in my early 20s, from a place of pain-fueled alcoholism, I would lash out at people on Twitter to seek attention, including black women. I deeply regret and am sorry for my tweets. If y'all remember, if you're not familiar with this, he had a lot of negative tweets, in particular about dark-skinned black women. It wasn't just black women in general. It was about dark-skinned black women. Wayman Wesley. I feel like I should be saying Raymond. But look, I'm changing his name to Raymond. Raymond Wesley sounds and feels better than Wayman Wesley. Okay? So Raymond says he deeply regrets it. He's sorry for his tweets. He said he had a severe alcohol addiction. He was underweight and sleep deprived. He ultimately spent 19 months in residential and inpatient treatment centers for his illness. Says he relapsed 3 times before getting sober on October 2nd, 2016. He says, by God's grace, I've been sober for more than 6 years. He says it's a disease that nearly killed him. Says he is not the man that he was in 2015. Yeah, he had a lot of stuff that he said. But the bottom line is, he resigned. He said he was becoming a distraction, and he didn't want to become a distraction no more. Hold on, where is that? He says he does not condone violence against anyone, especially black women. He says, although the leadership at the DA's office and I believed a path forward was possible at the outset of this situation, it has grown clear that my presence is becoming a distraction. But once I saw that my presence at the DA's office was becoming larger than the office itself, and the ability of black women in particular to feel protected, I knew the only correct course of action was to resign and allow the healing process to begin. So I don't know. For that, I say, all right, good job, Raymond. Good job for resigning. I had asked the question, should he resign? And overwhelmingly people say, yeah, he can change. Oh, he want to change. But based on his past statements, no. No, he should not be a prosecutor. So Raymond resigned, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yeah, because his real name just sounds stupid. That I blame his mama and or daddy, whoever gave him the name. It just sounds stupid. We not here at the afternoon experiment. We are not referring to that man as Wayman. It's Raymond. Just sounds better. It feels better. It is what it is. Crystal says just because he resigned, he still feels the same way. No, he say he don't. He say he don't. To some degree, you gotta, I guess, take a man at his word, don't you? If he said some stuff 7 years ago, and then he stopped saying that stuff, he went and got counseling, got off the alcohol, and changed his life, and he no longer says those type of things, I can accept it as possible that he doesn't feel the same way. He said he was doing it for attention. I could see that being the case. So, but resigning, I think, was a good idea. His parents were probably drunk when they named him. Wasn't the heterosexual changed dude on that movie Low Down Dirty Shame name Wayman? I've never seen the movie that you're discussing, so I don't know. And I agree with you. They do plant agents amongst protesters to get the crowd more rowdy and belligerent. No doubt about it, they do. No doubt about it. Oh, Crystal says a zebra never changes its stripes. Get him drunk and he'll get going. So, Crystal, I guess I would have to ask you, you still believe everything that you've ever said and you're still that person? So you've not matured at all in your life? Anything you've ever said, thought, or believed, you've never changed your mind. You've never matured and looked back and said, okay, that was silly of me. That was foolish of me. I don't think like that anymore. I don't believe like that anymore. You've never done that? I know I have. I've done it. Usually Wayman would go by Wayne. Crystal says, I've changed my mind. Yes. So why couldn't he change his mind? To say, oh, a zebra don't change his stripes. He believed, or at least said one thing. Well, he's matured. And 7 years later, he looks back at that and he says, that was stupid. That was silly, immature. That was me seeking attention because it was the popular thing to do. I don't believe that way no more. Why can't he do that? Why? Sometimes we have to be willing to give, I don't know if the term is grace. We have to be willing to give grace to people when they see the error of their ways. Sometimes we have to be willing to do that. Crystal says maybe. All right, maybe. I'll take maybe. I'll take maybe. That don't necessarily mean that he should be the district attorney. But yeah. Facebook got me being political correct, so I use heterosexual challenged. Okay. All right. Lewis or CK says, just like we used to use the N-word. Now, it's not right. Well, I know people, I still use the N-word. I still use the N-word sometimes. And it's my word. I can say it if I want to. White people can't say it. Other people can't say it. But I can say it if I want to. Although I acknowledge the people who say, who feel like I shouldn't say it. Have you changed your mind about the girl that won the jump rope contest? I didn't have no beef with the girl who won the jump rope contest. They cheated me. That's all I'm saying about that. But I'm all right. I mean, I've seen her years and years ago since her winning the jump rope contest. And we was cool. I actually tried to holler at her. She didn't give me no play. But I tried to holler at her. She was not a bad looking girl. But yeah, I ain't got no beef with her. Sierra says, do you really want to say it? I say it from time to time. I think I might even said it yesterday. I say it from time to time. If you white, though, you can't say it. It's not your word. You had it, you abused it, you don't get to say it. Facebook got folks using ninja instead of the N-word. Nope, y'all thought y'all had me, huh, Facebook? And that says you tried to secure the pie. She would holler at me. She wouldn't give me. She's tall. Like, she's a tall girl now. She's tall. But it didn't matter. Janice says, why would a person want to call themselves a negative word? I'll be honest, I don't necessarily look at it that way. I don't necessarily, I really believe this. I believe language changes. Language morphs. When what is that song? Let me tell you about a place somewhere up in New York State where the twisting the night away. And he says, where the people are so gay, twisting the night away. If you made a song like that today, clearly the people being gay wouldn't have the same meaning because the word has changed. He wouldn't write those lyrics today. He's talking about a place where the people was gay, twisting the night away. Clearly, he meant just happy, joyous, celebratory, gay. I can't think of the last time somebody in our society used gay to mean happy and joyous. Janice says, no, look to the origin. No, not necessarily. Because the origin of the word ain't necessarily what the word mean no more. It's not what it means anymore. It's just not. And you know, from my perspective, I look at the word and for me, it depends on the intention of the person using the word. To some degree. Language / definitions evolve as society evolves. Language isn't fixed. Just like now we add S's on stuff. That's not the same thing, Emanuel. I know, but I wanted to bring it up. I just wanted to bring it up. So it doesn't matter what it initially meant. It doesn't matter what it initially meant. Flintstones theme song only used it like happy. Yeah, they said, what, they'll have a gay old time? They'll have a gay old time. You don't really think the Flintstones and them was all like into homosexuality. That wasn't what they were saying. But if you said that now, that's kind of what that would mean. Valerie says, I didn't see it. Valerie was back. Oh, I'm sorry, Valerie. When I see your name, I just remember you got a really deep voice for a woman. Valerie says, English language is a spell. Oh. But the bottom line is he resigned. He resigned, and that's that. And I think that was the best move. I think that was the best move. Resigning. Got Sierra trying to troll me. Sierra, I've been working on it for like a month now, and it doesn't trigger me like it used to. It doesn't trigger me like it used to. It used to be like nails on a chalkboard. Most of y'all get that reference. For some people, you can't even say that no more. They don't know what you mean. They've never experienced nails on a chalkboard because they got whiteboards at school now. They never experienced nails on a chalkboard. But yeah, it doesn't trigger me like it used to. Janice says this is why. That's where history comes into play and why history is so important. Yeah, agreed. CK says gay still means happy in 2023. CK. So then why don't you just walk around telling people that you're gay? Why don't you just walk around telling people that you're gay? Go tell your parents, just call them. Tell them you're gay. It doesn't mean that same thing anymore. It just doesn't. Young people don't understand what that means when you say nails on a chalkboard. They've never experienced it. But it don't mean the same thing. It still mean happy. No, it don't. No, it don't. Especially go ask an effeminate man if he's gay. He definitely not gonna be thinking you mean happy. He's never going to think that. Janice says, I'm never going to get used to improper English. Well, Janice, as you keep saying to me, just get over it. Just get over it. Let me see. There was something else. Something else. As Joan Rivers would say, Janice. She know, because she says that to me. I don't know how many times have you said that to me, Janice? Feel like 150. Oh, let me see. I got a couple more stories. Let's see. Let's take this one. Let's take this down. Move you over here. Hold on. Let me move this one over here in case somebody calls. I need this one over here because I have to be able to see it. Couple of stories about Joe Biden. So let's go here, here, and here. Did Joe Biden just make it easier for Black Americans to pay off old student debt? Biden recently signed the Secure 2.0 bill, which makes some pretty important changes to how Americans can save for retirement. The most notable change, which of course I haven't read the bill, but the most notable change is that employers can now match what someone spends on their student loan payments with retirement payments. Meaning if you spend $100 on your student loan payments this month, your employer could match that amount in their contribution to your retirement account. Yeah, the law goes into effect in 2024. The implications are pretty astounding, they say, especially for Black Americans who hold a disproportionate amount of this country's student debt. Now, it's not just and specifically for Black people. This article is making the point that this might be able to help Black people kind of disproportionately, since Black Americans hold a disproportionate amount of the country's student loan debt. They say Black women in particular carry a massive student debt burden. On average, Black women have more than $38,000 in student loan debt. A Black woman with a master's degree has over $58,000 in federal student loans. They say student loans can be a massive inhibitor for savings for retirement. Just imagine that. You paying your student loans, and then that money that you pay to your student loans, your employer can match that and put that in your retirement account. That sounds good. That sounds good. However, they say, one thing this law doesn't solve is the fact that many Black Americans, especially Black women, have employers that don't offer retirement plans at all. And of course, this bill would not force companies to offer student loan matching programs or any other type of retirement programs. So There's that. But that sounds like a good thing to me. That sounds like a good thing to me. So you lose your retirement? No. It helps your retirement. It's more money into your, just like when an employer matches funds. Like if you say, I'm going to put, I don't know, $100 a week into my 401k, and they say, well, we'll match that and we'll put $100 a week in your 401k. Now you're getting $200 a week in your retirement account. Well, they're saying the same thing. So if you pay $100 a month on your student loan, the company can say, well, we gonna match that, and we gonna put $100 a month into your retirement plan. But that is at their employer discretion. It's not mandatory that employers do that. It's a good bill, but it's useless if it's not enforced. It just, right, it allows them to do it. It allows them to do it. It doesn't force them to do it, but it allows them to do it, which I think is a good thing. And maybe, when this becomes active, it'll be encouraged, and more employers will do it than won't. Maybe. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. Oh, wait a minute. There was something else about Joe Biden. There it is. I was talking about something else that Joe Biden is trying to do that I liked. So I like to, let y'all know this stuff. So when the fake independents who are really Republicans trying to convince you to not support Democrats, but instead to become Republicans, because that's what they are. They're fake independents. They're really Republicans, calling themselves independents, but only support Republicans and want you to only support Republicans or not vote at all. I keep saying, don't let them trick you, fool you, confuse you. Left wing, right wing is the same bird. Most of the people who I hear say that support and vote for Republicans. And they want to shame you so that even if you don't decide to vote Republican, you feel ashamed, and so you maybe won't go vote for a Democrat. They're trying to trick you. Don't let them trick you. You decide who you are, minus any shame, guilt, or whatever. But I'm trying to, give y'all a little bit of information as I run across it to combat them, okay? So, hold on, let me clear this. We got to do this again. Let's see. We got to go here. Biden rolls out Renters' Bill of Rights. Yeah, Joe Biden is pushing for what they're calling the Renters' Bill of Rights. In the face of sky-high rents, President Joe Biden is rolling out a new set of principles the White House is calling a Renters' Bill of Rights in an effort to improve rent affordability and protections for tenants. The president is directing the Federal Housing Association, or Federal Housing Finance Agency, to examine limits on rent increases for future investments and actions promoting renters' protection. The Federal Trade Commission and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau have been tapped to root out practices that unfairly prevent applicants and tenants from accessing or staying in housing. This rollout comes as progressive Democrats have asked Biden to direct different agencies, including the Federal Trade Commission, to limit rent increases. While rent control is common in some cities, there's never been federal residential rent control. And when you really think about it, how would that really work? How would that work? I'm not sure that it would. Nearly 50 progressive lawmakers, including Senator Elizabeth Warren and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, sent a letter to Biden earlier this month urging the president to take executive action to protect tenants from rising rents. Rent is kind of high. Rent is kind of high. Oh, let me do this. Rent is kind of high. And I mean, even here, rent is up there. What would you say? What's a good rent? 1-bedroom apartment. What would you say is a good rent? And what do you think is the kind of the going rate? And can someone, Daryl says the average rent, and this is 1 bedroom, I'm assuming, is $1,150. $1,150. That's a 1 bedroom. And the way that I think what a kind of an average rent should be is, can a person making minimum wage? Yeah, minimum wage. There's a lot of people out there making minimum wage. Can a person making minimum wage pay that rent and have enough money to live? I haven't been in the rent game in so long. I haven't been in the rent game for so long, but Janice says a 1 bedroom should not be over $900. Rents inflation needs to coincide with income inflation, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Crystal says, no, $1,150 is too high. Shahara says, no, it's too high. I went on to, let me see, apartments.com. Let me minimize that. Close that. I got to go through all of this stuff for y'all. Where's my thing on apartments.com? There it is. I went on apartments.com here in Cincinnati. Let me go back. Hold on, we're going to do this again. So let's go here and here. So I went on apartments.com. I didn't put in a price. I just put in a 1 bedroom apartment. A 1 bedroom apartment. Make sure apartment. What more? No, just 1 bedroom. I don't care about none of the amenities. And you see what the rents are. Some of this stuff. Let's see. They got $695 apartment for rent. Let's look at this one. This is in East Cincinnati. 12-month lease, $695. That don't sound bad. $695. Water, heat, sewer included. That don't sound bad. Let's go back. Scrolling. $700 in Dover Heights. Tower Valley Flats, 700. These are 1-bedrooms. This is Cincinnati. And I sorted it from rent low to high. Rent low to high. Geneva GC wants to know where. It's on the screen. It's on the screen. I'm just. Janice says that's for 6 months. And that wasn't what the thing said, was it? See, Harrison Avenue, apartment for rent. 12-month lease, $650 deposit, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Rent $650. So they out there. They're out there. B-Rab says, I pay $760 for my 1 bedroom at Ridge Hill Manor. All right. They're out there. I mean, I hear a lot of, kind of horror stories about how much rent is. Carolyn says, do you not see what street that's on? That $6 comes with gunshots. Carolyn says, another one that comes with gunshots. Shahara says, that's West Side. It's cheaper over there. Look in Central Cincinnati. Look, I'm saying, if you need a place to live, and that's what you can afford, that's what you can afford. Would you actually live on Harrison Avenue, Emanuel? Sure, why not? Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? If that's what I could afford. If that's what I could afford, sure. Not with gunshots, I don't. Okay. Look, I'm just showing y'all this stuff. I'm just showing y'all the stuff. Let's see. Let's go to the second page. We talk about, what rent is. I mean, you got to get what you got to get until you, you know what I'm saying, build yourself up to where you can get something better. Let's see where we at. Page 2. Did we go to page 2? Next, we looking at the $700 range. I don't know. Do this? They're out there. Okay, I know Grand Avenue. I know y'all. Oh, it's Grand Avenue. Oh, we want to live in no East Price Hill. But it's a beautiful 1-bedroom apartment. It's a beautiful 1-bedroom apartment. It's great for singles and couples, and it's ready for move-in. Now, look. I'm not trying to tell nobody to go and move in none of these apartments. I ain't been in none of these apartments. I just pulled up apartments.com and start searching. All right. If you call back, CK, I see you called. I'll pick it up. I have it on the screen now. But if let me grab CK's call. CK.
Hey, Mr. Livingston, how you doing, brother?
CK, I'm doing good. How are you?
Hey, you see how extra they get on the internet? Oh, now nobody want to live on Yarmouth. Nobody want to live on Harrison. I just typed on there. That's a wonderful place to live, Harrison Avenue. I know from personal experience. I lived over there before. Yarmouth, that's Bond Hill. You hear the birds chirping when you wake up in the morning. You hear me?
I hear you.
Corner stores everywhere. They want to get extra. Now, if I own the property, I'm going to charge whatever the hell I want to charge. Ain't nobody about to tell me nothing too high. You hear me? That's what I bought it for.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's how you do it. When you buy the property, your house, you make the rules. When I walk in your house, I got to follow your rules.
But
if you don't like the price, move the hell on.
I want to argue with what you're saying because, look, to some degree that makes sense. This is my price, and if don't nobody want it, then won't nobody rent it.
There it is.
But there is also a such thing as kind of taking advantage of people.
You taking advantage of me. Your rent late. If you don't have my rent by the 3rd, I want $300 late fee. You don't like the rules, don't sign the contract. Me and my maid just fell out today over, she signed the contract. She ain't fulfilled her obligations.
Oh, did you?
I fulfilled mine.
Wait a minute. Did you say your maid?
My maid, listen, she signed the contract 2014, November. You hear me? Now, she don't want to vacuum.
Hold on.
I'm like, well.
Wait a minute. Wait. Just so I'm clear.
Mm-hmm.
You work at Church's Chicken at McDonald's and you got a maid.
Where you talking about McDonald's at, man? I work at Church's, man. Come on, man. You know I got 2 jobs, man.
Oh.
And then you gonna say, I told you I was at McDonald's one day. You just gonna put me, damn, how many jobs you got? I just was there. You just gotta put me, just because I'm there don't mean I'm working there. Jesus Christ.
I don't know how much maids cost. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
We got a contract.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But she hit me with this, Mr. Livingston. She say, you got too much carpet. I'm like, what?
Oh, boy.
Too much carpet. But she want the same, she want me to honor my end of the contract, but you not honoring your obligations.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And this is a binding contract. I would take her as the judgment. I don't give a damn. But this is how you got to handle it. People get mad. Just with the late fee. I'm charging $300 after that 3rd day. And I'm going to make that clear before you move in.
All right.
That's just that's how you got to do it, man. It's the American. So you think that's taking advantage?
Possibly, yes.
So are you taking advantage of the landlord by being late with the rent?
How much do you pay for your maid?
Right, the full maid service ain't number $75. But you ain't getting it. I ain't get the vacuum, so hey, you got to take that down to $50.
Oh.
You can squabble all you want. You know what I mean? I'm not giving you the full 75. You ain't did the full work.
Okay.
What's your analysis?
I don't have one. I'm still tripping. I'm still tripping off the maid. I don't.
What's wrong with the maid, man? Listen, man. I'm not mentally, you know what I'm saying, mentally right to be, handling that myself.
Oh,
I need a little extras.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But, I mean, how would you handle that situation? You got a signed document. You said you going to handle your obligation, then the carpet not clean. Would you still pay the full price?
I think I will vacuum. I think I would vacuum and clean my own. Hold on, is this an apartment that we talking about?
Yeah, that's what she told me. She said you can vacuum. I said, well, you can take $25 off that damn contract then. That's exactly what she said. She said, why you don't vacuum it yourself? You got too much carpet. I said, exactly. That's why I don't vacuum it myself.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Hold on. Are you the manager at the chicken place? Are you just, I'm just.
What you talking about?
Are you a manager?
What, at Church's?
Yeah.
Hell no, I do the drive-thru and then drop the wings, man. I do both of them. I ain't messing with that manager. That ain't me. That ain't, no. That ain't me.
I'm sorry. You took me out with the maid.
You don't believe in maids? Maids, my lives matter too. They gotta eat. That's a profession.
Oh boy.
When's the last time you used a maid, man?
I've never. I don't know
So
what
you
the
don't
going
invest.
rate is on a maid, and it sounds like a luxury that maybe you can, maybe you cannot afford.
Remember, hey, like you told me, you could do whatever you want to do out here in these streets. Whatever.
That's true.
You want to hire a maid, get you a maid. You know what I mean? You want to hire a taxi, get you a taxi. You can catch the bus. Just because you got a car don't mean you can't get on the bus sometimes.
All right.
This is how you got to stimulate the economy. You feel me?
I guess, yes.
Yeah, you got to make sure. Like, and I just wanted you to know that.
Did you get this made through a service, or is this just like somebody you met?
Cleaning service. Talking about but that's what I'm saying. Now over the years, now it's declining. Now she was top notch years ago, but now I'm seeing little stuff here, little stuff. She ain't 100%. Then the day she hit me with the full no vacuum, but wanted the full pay. So we had a argument.
Can you tell me what the name of the service is?
The service.
Yeah.
Service.
Yes.
No, it's not a service. No, it's an independent contractor.
How did you find the maid?
This was 2014, man, on the internet.
Hey, y'all
She
still,
broke out.
y'all
Yeah,
still
you know
working?
how it is. Okay,
Wait,
let me explain how it
hold
goes.
on, wait.
Let me explain how.
Y'all
Hold on,
still
let me
working
explain
under
to
the
you.
same contract from 2014.
You know how you would get it. Somebody would come do a job, then they'd be like, "Well, you can hire me straight up. You ain't got to go through the middleman. Just give me this." That's how it worked out. It started off through a service, then it went independent.
Okay.
You see what I mean? That's how it goes. You know how like you get a job through a temp service and then they hire you for real.
But okay, I get that. But don't y'all amend the contract ever so often? It's been 20.
Yeah, that's what she said. Exactly. That's her point. That's her point right there. There you go. You got it.
Oh my God.
She's saying this ain't. She like, you going by this old ass contract. I'm like, shit. Why not? Well, you ain't renewed it.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair deal.
Okay.
And look at the prices. You've seen it, $650 for a one bedroom. You've seen it with your own eyes. They were saying before you looked it up, they were telling you it's $1,300, it's $1,100. But when you looked it up, all those prices were $650, $850. Everything was low, wasn't it? You seen it on the computer.
And look, and I get that those may not be the most desired neighborhoods in the city. The point that I was making, I guess, once I saw those, and then people like, well, you got gunshots, and I'm like, look, if my choices are live in East Price Hill or be homeless, even though I have a job, I'm gonna live in East Hill, and I'm gonna try to get my money up to where I can move to somewhere else. Because, I mean, all things kind of being equal, hell, I'd just rather rent a house in, Indian Hill. And, that be that.
And guess who's going to be your neighbor? You're going to move right next to Blueface and his girlfriend.
I can't afford that. So I got to do what I can afford to do.
But I'm just telling you that they lying when they say that's a bad neighborhood. Yarmouth is an extremely wonderful neighborhood. It's by Hill, by Richie's. Right there by Richie's. You good. They just act like that on the internet. But if you go on Yarmouth right now, ain't they act like you going to get shot. You ain't going to you can walk all the way from Redden Road to Paddock. Ain't nothing going to happen to you. This is what they say to scare you, just like Chicago. Oh, Chicago's a scary place. That's what they saying about West Side and Barn Hill. They're not dangerous. It just look dangerous on the news.
All right.
Yeah, you been to Barn Hill, right?
I've been to Barn Hill, yeah.
Thank you. How many times you got shot?
Well, none.
There it is. So why would you live there, Mr. Livingston? That's why you had to tell them, hell yeah, I live there. Every place is the same. You get killed anywhere. You get smoked anywhere. This is America. You're going to hear gunshots wherever you live at. I don't care if it is Indian Hill. They get killed out there too. These people got to know that and stop it.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Well, some of them,
Yep.
this is what I'll give you, CK. No ifs, ands, or buts. Some of these people that are talking are kind of snobs. They
Yep.
snobs, like, oh, I wouldn't want to live there, look, if you got money and you can afford to live in your desired place, cool. You can't be like, nah, I want to live in Oakley. And be like, all right, well, what's the rent in Oakley? It's too much. They need to bring the rent down. Well, no, you can't afford then to live in Oakley.
Thank you. That's all we said. Everywhere is the same. It's like you said, where you trying to, I want to go to Beverly Hills. All right, you got Beverly Hills money? But as soon as you looked it up, all I seen was $650. I seen the first one you looked at said $250 to $600. I said, damn, what is that? I want to move there. $250, that's 1994 prices.
Yeah, I did. I sorted from least to, the lowest to the highest.
Yeah, we good. This is Cincinnati. You can't go broke here. I lived in L.A. That's where everybody broke, except the stars. Everybody. You know how many roommates my uncle had me living with? We live in Norwalk, California, right? Nice one bedroom. Man, that thing about $200,000 in the hood. We got 14 Mexican roommates. Because can't nobody afford to rent in L.A. This Cincinnati, you could actually be unemployed and still survive out here. That's how cheap the rent is in Cincinnati.
All right.
Yeah, go to New York City. You want to see some high rent. $3,800 for an efficiency. San Francisco, see, I ain't been nowhere talking about this rent high. You just pay $1,200, $1,300, you're going to be living good like Mr. Drummond and them.
Well, you go and look up that $250 rent, and then you'll get your maid to come over.
Hey, man, I got my own garage. I got my own porch. I'm good. Of course you hear gunshots. That don't mean nothing. This is a man of the guns.
Wait. That kind of do mean something. I don't want to hear gunshots necessarily outside of my spot. So to say, well, of course you hear gunshots, that ain't nothing. That's really underselling gunshots.
So you telling me you never heard no gunshots where you live at?
Well, I have.
Thank you. Everybody got to deal with it because of where we live. That's like saying I'm not living in America. They have racism. No shit, Sherlock.
Right, but to say that it's nothing is, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's something.
I mean, like you said, it's just part of the game. You live in this country is driven by guns and drugs. So wherever you're going to be, you're going to find some drugs, and wherever you're going to be, you're going to hear some gunshots. I don't care if it's Beverly Hills Cop. You know what I mean? They going to do it at Hyde Park, Indian Hill, Oakley. I hope you don't get smoked getting your groceries. You know what I mean? Anybody can get it. You know what I mean? And you got to work on that N-word because you just said we not going to say it no more, and you still using it, 50-plus years old.
Well, I know
you gotta stop that, man.
Look, I know I said we wasn't going to use it no more, and I kind of did try to stop using it, but then I felt like I'm a grown man. I can say whatever I want to say.
Exactly. That's when you get the respect.
And
it's the people that don't say it.
And I don't mean it in a hateful way or anything like that. It's just like saying, cuz, he ain't actually my cousin. You know what I'm saying? When I say cuz, I don't mean actual cousin all the time.
Gangbanging. You talking about a Crip.
But no.
Blood?
No.
About a blood.
No.
Yep.
Just like, no.
I was
no.
in L.A. I told you how I go.
Look. The nature of words is such that, sure, they have definitions. Those definitions do evolve. But we kind of make our own definitions for stuff, too. If I'm talking to you and I'm like, nah, cuz, that don't mean that you a Crip. That don't mean that you're my aunt's son. It mean I'm saying, dude, Cuz if I say blood, nah, blood. I'm thinking back to the 70s when, I used to hear the young brothers back in the day would call each other blood.
Woo! Yeah, yeah,
I don't mean it
yeah.
as you're not a gang member or you're not my blood relative. I'm saying it the same way that if I said, no, nigga, you crazy. I mean it the same. No, cuz, you
But
crazy. No, bro, you crazy. No, dude, you crazy. No, blood, you crazy. No, nigga, you crazy. All of that mean the same thing.
when you say now, you gotta say N word. You crazy. Don't pronounce it out. Don't say it. You know what I mean? Because you got to remember, any white person that used that word is racist, no matter the context. You got to remember that, because I don't want to hear no apologies, because I'm going to remember the people that never used it. Because them the people that matter, not the people like you said, the young Turks want to go around using the N-word. No respect, y'all racist. Howard Stern, you racist. Joe Rogan, anybody that use it is racist. Eminem.
White people can't
It's
use
the
it.
white. Exactly.
I
No
agree.
matter how much you did for black people.
I agree.
And that's why Richard Pryor stopped using it. You remember Richard Pryor? He had a hard time stop using it.
I remember he said he stopped using it, but I don't think he actually stopped using it.
Yeah, well, he stopped using it in his stand-up. He had to do what he had to do for movies. But if you look at that stand-up, remember he said I would never use it again. He never used it again in the stand-up. But yeah, he said it in movies though.
Yes.
Scripted. But you just at the age now, because you got the youth looking at you. If they see you 50 using the N-word, they like, well, damn, he must hate black people too.
Well, we got to teach
Because
them.
you're too old.
We got to teach them.
Mm-hmm.
Me saying
keep
it
up
don't
the good
mean I
work.
hate black people. White people saying it mean they hate you.
With if they saying it as a term of endearment, still mean hate. I make them stop. I just made this Chinese dude stop saying it. I say, what the? He's like, man, I did 11 years for murder. I say, who you kill? A black man? You kill an N-word? No, I killed one of my own people. I say, well, see, there you go. Call him your racial slur. Don't use ours on us. For being in prison around black people, he was cool with black. I was like, if you cool, you wouldn't use it, because I'm offended, boy.
All right.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yeah. Hey, keep up the good work, like you said. God gonna continue blessing everybody, and ain't nothing wrong with Bog Hill and Western Hills. Good
All right,
place
CK.
to live, safe.
I appreciate your call.
Praise the Lord.
All right. That's CK. He said what he said. Crystal. Where did I get Carolyn? Because I just saw Carolyn post something. Crystal Hoskins. Happy birthday. She said today is her birthday. Everybody send good energy and happy birthday wishes to Crystal Hoskins. Hope you have an amazing day. 513-717-5464. 513-717-5464. I'm sorry, y'all. The maid thing got me. I wasn't ready for the maid thing. He said he worked at Jerry's, but he got a maid who done had a contract, the same contract since 2014. I feel like CK ain't writing no contracts. I feel like he ain't writing no contracts. And what contract was that? Like the length of the contract was what? Perpetuity? Forever? Oh, okay. I'm back. 717-5464. That's the number to get on board. Let me see. About getting ready to get out of here. Got people sending out happy birthday. Happy birthday to Crystal. Happy birthday, Crystal. And I feel like I'm judging CK or something. Ain't nothing wrong with, if you got the money, I don't care where you work at, nothing wrong with having them if you can afford it. Marquetta. Hey, how you doing?
I called to talk to you, not at you.
Okay.
I promise.
All right.
How you been?
I've been good. What's on your mind?
Well, the first thing is this rent.
Okay.
Um, so I watched you look through the apartments. Do you know you can still rent at Williamston or whatever that place is over there at Hartwell?
I did not know that.
If you look on rent.com, they still rent in apartments. Those apartments are $1,500 and up. Okay, if you can afford 15, 16, 1700 in rent, you have to be able to prove at least 3 times that income. For most people in America, they make like $54,000 a year. You got to be making at least 70,000 or more to qualify for those higher rents. Now, let me tell you why I go so hard. Do you remember December?
Yes.
And you remember December used to call in all the time. I hate my baby mom. I got to pay child support. Da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
And people used to love that. Oh, December was good for I hate black women rhetoric. He was real good for that. So the DA, the chef guy, I don't care what's wrong with him now. He's in a position of power. In the same way that I want those 5 black cops who beat that black man to death to go to jail, I need him to lose his job because you have a racial bias, even though you're black. Can you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you're the man, quote unquote, of power, and there is limited housing in the city, and you have the influence of city council, you have influence with city council, state and government officials who come in and say, hey, we want to use your voice to basically say to people, you don't need housing. We're gonna give you a few $1,000s, and we want you to promote this message of you don't need housing for this certain income bracket. Now, when I first started calling into the buzz, I had only been in the city maybe 6 months. And when I first got here, I had a Section 8 certificate. The Section 8 certificate gives you a discount on your rent, but that doesn't mean that it lowers your rent substantially. They might pay 30%, but it may be just $30 depending on your income. Well, when Huntington Meadows came down, they were still renting Huntington Meadows out when I got here. They were still renting it out. The Section 8 man even came through and said it's decent to live in. And then, remember, then the government of Cincinnati came in and said, well, no, this housing is dilapidated, it's condemned, everybody got to get out. Do you know they took my Section 8 certificate when they put us out of there?
I did not know that. Why did they do that?
Because I could afford the rent to live in Huntington Meadows. The rent was it was cheap. I was a new mom. I was young, needed somewhere fast to move to, so it was open. Thank God I found something else in Barn Hill, so I didn't get the brunt. Like you seen all the people in Huntington Meadows, their stuff was getting put out. They was being evicted, just treated poorly. If you didn't pay rent, you couldn't get no assistance. I mean, it was ugly. But they took my Section 8 certificate and certificates because the city did not want to have Section 8 certificates because they didn't want to produce housing for low-income residents.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I remember that.
Remember, me and you've been talking for 20 years. I don't hate you, Emanuel. I love you to death, for real. You're probably the only one that I can stomach because at least you don't, and it's no shade to you, but some of your people that you've worked with in the past paid for certain rhetoric. They even tell us, remember we used to say, the Republicans, if you want to get something done in the city, you got to go with the Republicans because they got the money. The Democrats ain't willing to spend no money. So it wasn't a surprise when the audit came back and it showed the city had robbed the of Cincinnati of about $4 million to $12 million. That is a tax credit. It is a tax credit for working poor people to be able to keep housing that they can afford in the city. But we had a rhetoric of, and it's like I was listening to you talk about the chefs, the lawyer. I'm supposed to just dismiss this because it's popular content to hate black women, especially dark-skinned black women. And when you dehumanize us and say, you got too many kids, it's your fault you can't afford it. Well, no, because if I'm working and the government is giving you money, you're supposed to be building housing for people in my income bracket, no matter how many kids I have. Instead, you had P.G. Sittenfield come in, and he knew the only reason that he could get bills passed and the type of favor that he had on council was because of the power that he yielded with the black vote. Can you agree with me on that?
Say it one more time.
P.G. Sittenfield, the convicted felon, the one that got convicted.
Mm-hmm.
You remember him?
I remember PJ.
Young, nice looking white boy. Everybody loved him. He was so cute. And he was the darling of someone in particular. He was just so cool and so good. P.G. Sittenfield, in my opinion, him and many others, were taking those tax breaks that were coming for were supposed to be applied to low-income housing and giving it to corporations. They were transferring it into the forms of bonds, tax breaks, tax exemptions, etc. So now you have a deficit of housing, and I'm just talking about Cincinnati, that you can afford. Okay?
Okay.
Propaganda is powerful. Do you remember Don Imus?
I remember Don Imus, nappy-headed hoes. And
Don Imus said there was some nappy-headed hoes. He lost his radio show. He lost his salary. He lost his fame. But it was D.L. Hughley. You can look it up today. He went on Jay Leno's show and said there was some nappy-headed hoes. And they was ugly. He got a radio show and a salary right after that because internal black racism is okay. And when we are in positions of power and we have the power of propaganda, like you were saying, it's okay to say nigger, or I'm sorry, to say the N-word, or how we may how we may interact with each other is loving, is brotherly, is cultural. But my grandma don't want to hear me say I'm that bitch. You understand what I'm saying? My uncle and them don't want to hear me calling, hey nigga, what's up? They ain't trying to hear that. So when you have that level of power and you're using your social power to oppress people in your group, it's looked at as okay. P.G. Sittenfield is just one example. But when you showed the housing in Cincinnati, that's why all the housing ran down. It's not just private investors. They've been flipping this city, real estate flip here, there. And there's nobody out here, even though if you look at the numbers, black men are mostly homeless, say, in California. But the most evicted is black women with children. So a one-bedroom apartment doesn't suffice a woman with children.
Very true.
Right? So what 525 may not be a problem to someone, but you got to look at what the requirements are for housing. You have to have 3 times your income, right? So if you make minimum wage, you can barely afford that 525. But now when you put kids on top of that, food on top of that, transportation on top of that, and you can't find housing, you see what I'm saying? People
right.
all over this country, if you look, you will find black women in particular falling through floors of their apartment complexes in Detroit. You will find in Baltimore, everybody getting evicted. You find in D.C. is homeless camps outside of the White House. So I go hard for myself to protect myself and my interests, which involves housing. When I hear men of my race tell other people or tell the public, these women are no good. They made the wrong choice. They don't deserve housing, food, rental assistance. And then you see a busload of immigrants come. You know, immigrants getting SSI checks.
Well, but I'm just curious, and I know you're talking about like over the history, but recently, who have you heard saying that?
Well, I don't listen anymore. And the power structure is gone. P.G. Sittenfield is locked up. And we've beat back that propaganda. But that's why the chef had to get fired from the DA's office, because the propaganda, it's not about him. He was online ridiculing little black girls, teenage black girls, telling them, you ugly. This picture showed a picture of a black girl, a real picture of somebody, and said, next to a trash can, and said, there's no difference here.
Yes.
Black girls are good for being punching bags. You're a district attorney.
He says he didn't say that. He says somebody else said that. But the same principle applies. He said enough stuff that if he didn't say that one thing, that don't make a difference.
Yeah, it's enough, because you're a district attorney. You're in a position of power. You're going to over-prosecute black women who have been evicted, black women who are homeless, black women who might put their children in school systems that they really can't afford because they live in a poor area and the school ain't no different. He'll over-prosecute. That's why the propaganda has to be beat back within our community. We have to stop with all of this racism against each other. It's hurtful propaganda, especially when you're in a position of power. I had to tell you that.
All right.
I had to tell you that because I've been arguing for 20 years, I think, about housing, and I just watched Biden is such a joke. And this is my last comment for you.
Wait, hold on. Before you, what do you think about what it is that he's trying to do? This renters bill of rights.
I think it's bull. I think everything Biden and Kamala Harris do is bull ass. They. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that was it. I didn't say a word. I'm listening to you.
I think it's crap. Like I just said. Even if you look into REITs or real estate investment trusts, they're going down. The housing market is collapsing. Rental rates are coming through the Great Reset. So a lot of things are happening in regards to rents. But the big thing is you have these big real estate investment companies who, in a mutual fund or a stock investment, can come in and say, I want to buy this whole community. But they're not looking to improve. That's what you're looking at Williamsburg. You have an investor who comes in, they say, hey, I want to flip this property. They don't care to update the property and make it habitable. They're looking to get a big loan on it and sell it to somebody else.
True. Very true.
And it's this, and the housing in Cincinnati, we're being robbed. And when you have people telling you don't have no issue, you be quiet. We have been robbed of housing for the last 20 or 30 years. If you go look at some of the housing, Stanley Row, Parktown Apartment, places ain't been fixed since they was built. And eventually, the state's going to come through, and they're going to put they're going to put an expressway through that area, and they're going to justify it and say, it was dilapidated. It was no good. But you're going to leave all those people in despair looking for housing who low income. Yeah. And again, you took all the money and gave it to the, But let me say this about Biden. Also around that time, when I first started calling y'all, it was a war in Iraq. From the bottom of my heart, the war in Iraq was wrong. Everybody knows the war in Iraq was wrong. But when they left Afghanistan, they left military-grade equipment with the Taliban. You know who's about to buy that military-grade equipment today?
Who's about to buy it?
Vladimir Putin. And do you know who's sending tanks to Ukraine today?
The U.S.
Biden. So you're funding a war on both sides. Both sides. You think? And as far as Barack Obama goes, he's attractive, but he was in office for 8 years. He dropped a bomb every 20 minutes. Every 20 minutes for 8 years, he dropped a bomb on somebody via a drone. He is not a hero. And American presidents are not our heroes. These are, literally warmongers who are selling government secrets. Biden, his brother, and his son. Have you looked at Hunter Biden's laptop?
I have not.
Oh, my gosh. Look it up on Twitter. Dude, a proud crackhead. Through Biden, when I say he produced the largest incarceral state, meaning he made a big incarceration state, by the same standards that black people are in jail today for weed and crack, cocaine possession, this fool went and wrote a book about how good crack is, how much he loved crack. He went on a speaking tour and said, "Oh, I loved crack. I was just into crack. Crack is good." He ain't go to jail. He was selling, and at the same time, he was selling government secrets and telling the Ukraine, "Listen, you can give me some money to get influence with the big guy who was my daddy. We're going to get this thing from Trump. And I'm sorry, this is the last thing. I'm sorry. You ought to sue them for that Pfizer indoctrination. You need to get this shot." Again, people are being paid to push a narrative to us as black people because we're weak and we can't fight back. But that whole propaganda over COVID, you'll be on your 4th booster shot and still get the COVID. And now they're coming out and they're saying the COVID vaccine is bull of crap. And people are just dropping dead.
A lot of what you're saying is true. Can't argue with it.
I ain't coming to lie to you. I'm just coming to talk to you. And I just, I need for you in particular to understand where I be coming from. Black women are not safe. We're being killed every 5.5 hours. We don't need our men to be on the internet saying we're good punching bags. We're ugly. We don't deserve housing. We're not wife material, et cetera, et cetera. We're in grave danger, and we're very far in the future, and we just have to get it in our head that government, if you can't push yourself through as a group with an agenda, they're going to run out of what to do. It's just so much going on. But, I just wanted to put that in your ear. You should consider suing them. People are dropping dead, like teens, healthy people who got those vaccines. They're just dying. People just literally dropping dead at 18, 17, 35, 33. They having myocarditis, so their heart is inflamed, and they get a blood clot in their heart, and it's coming from that vaccine. And Bill Gates and everybody else has pulled their rhetoric back. Remember, they used to say, if you get the vaccine, you can't transmit it.
That's what they used to say. They used to say a whole lot of stuff that just wasn't proven, but it sounded good to people.
And people ate that up and
They
put
did.
their health in danger. The vaccine is dangerous. It doesn't have any efficacy. You're putting something in your body that's basically a placebo shot, and you don't know the impact of it. But I appreciate you. I ain't going to bother you no more. I just had to get that out.
Marquetta, I appreciate your call.
Bye.
All right. That's Marquetta. Hey, look, I can't say that anything she said was not factual. Some stuff she didn't necessarily tie together. Hunter Biden's laptop, crackhead, so on and so forth. I don't know that you can. I've never seen Hunter Biden's laptop. I would argue she's never seen Hunter Biden's laptop. She's probably seen things that people said might have come from Hunter Biden's laptop, but there's no way for her to independently verify that. But assuming that it's all true, as the political machine tries to tie that to somehow and when now we should investigate Joe Biden because his son was a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that, he clearly has some drug problems. Clearly has drug problems. It's just a placebo. I don't know about that. I believe it has some degree of effectiveness, some degree. It's not as bulletproof as they kind of said it was, as they led you to believe in the beginning. It's not as bulletproof as, they tried to make it out to be. But a lot of what she's saying is just factual. And then you draw your own conclusions from it. She's drawn hers. And that is what it is. Didn't he marry his deceased brother's wife? I don't know if he married her. Now, he might have. I don't think he married her. I think they had a baby together. Which don't sound much better. But I'm not sure. Maybe let's assume he married his deceased brother's wife. So you should investigate Joe Biden? You know what I'm saying? There's probably a whole lot of negative stuff that you can find out about anybody and somebody in their family. That don't mean that person should be held accountable for those bad deeds. I wasn't saying it to make it better. I'm just saying I don't remember all of the details, but he doesn't seem to be an honorable guy. He doesn't seem to be an honorable guy. I have nothing else to say about it. He doesn't seem to be an honorable guy. So, but let's investigate Joe Biden. Why? Because his son is not an honorable guy. Come on. When George W. Bush was president, they wasn't investigating him. I mean, George Bush was president because George W. Bush was not an honorable guy doing cocaine, getting into car accidents and his stuff being taken care of. That happened with George H.W. Bush. George W. Bush was on cocaine, reportedly. Got into an accident, reportedly. And it just disappeared, reportedly. So should we have investigated George H.W. Bush? Come on. His son was a F-up. And you just be like, he might not be the best parent. His son might be an F-up, but you don't launch a congressional investigation because of that. How much trouble did them twins get into when George W. Bush was in the White House? They was F-ups too. Launch a congressional investigation. No. That's not the way that works out. Wyatt says, I've never seen a crackhead do solid business, and the information on the laptop will show the indictable crimes of Biden. That's the significance of the laptop. Then why hasn't he been indicted? I mean, if they got proof, like rock solid proof, and they done had this rock solid proof since Donald Trump was in office, why didn't they do something about it? Like they had the smoking gun. They had the laptop with all of the proof on it. They had it. Why didn't they do something about it? I don't know what's on the laptop. Again, I haven't seen his laptop. I can't independently verify anything is actually on it. Why does Pence have documents too? Because they all take documents. I don't think there's anything necessarily nefarious about them finding those documents with Biden or them finding those documents with Pence. Trump is different. But I don't think there's anything nefarious about Pence and Biden finding a few dozen pages through boxes and boxes and boxes of documents. You find like 12 to 24 papers with classified markings on them. I think that could be an honest oversight. Now, if they start denying it or saying, yeah, I took them because I wanted them, but I'm not giving them back, then you might have an issue. Then you're running into Trump territory. So I see, but I think they probably all, anybody who handles sensitive documents on a regular basis at that level, they probably all have somewhere where they probably shouldn't, mingled in with some papers or something. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Again, when you venture into Trump territory, that's different. Because he did it different. He handled it different. The whole nine. All right, I got to get out of here. I see Wyatt is on here, which means he's getting ready to go on the air. And if he's getting ready to go on air, then you should be watching it. All right? Again, don't forget, you can go now to multiple pages to catch the afternoon experiment. I'm on my personal YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and Twitter pages, as well as there's an afternoon experiment Twitter page. There's an afternoon experiment Facebook page. There's an afternoon experiment YouTube page. And you should probably go check those out. Go to YouTube, subscribe, go to Twitter and Facebook and like or follow or however you do it. So definitely check it out. Wyatt says he's about 10 minutes from start time. So that gives you some time. Wrap up everything you're doing at work. Don't take none of the papers home. Wrap up everything you're doing at work. Get yourself something to drink. Get yourself a nice, comfortable seat. Sit down. Relax. And check out Wyatt Live. The Drive at 5. I don't think that's the technical name for it. I think it's just Wyatt Live at 5. But I like to say The Drive because it rhymes. And, you know, I'm black. We like rhyming stuff. All right, I got to get out of here. It's been the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I appreciate y'all checking me out, hanging out with me. I believe I'll be back. I have every intention on being back here tomorrow. So definitely check me out. Yeah, if you feel like it. All right. Until next time. I hope something amazing happens to you today. Something life-changing. All right. Till next time. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm out, y'all. Peace.